The working environment needs to be fun. Everything you're doing in life needs to be fun.
How do we support our own institutions? How do we support our own businesses?
We feel that with the black man spending $20 billion a year, not setting up any businesses, not creating any industry, not creating any job opportunities for his own town, he's not in a moral position to tell the white man that he's discriminating against him.
And instead of breaking somebody down, I look at what they do great and I go, wow, people that love and really want great for themselves go, what are they doing right?
What's good? Welcome to another episode of It's Black It's Lit. I'm your host, Town, here on location in Little Rock, Arkansas. And today, I'm joined by the brilliantly black and talented Mr. WESLEY Peters.
Appreciate it, bro.
Thanks for stopping by the show with us.
For sure, always.
All right, so today we're at the Big Damn Bridge and we're gonna take a walk with the plant doctor. Wes, tell me about yourself. Tell me where you're from and how did you end up here in Little Rock, Arkansas?
So I'm actually from Little Rock, born and raised. Yeah, Little Rock School District up into the 8th grade. And 9th grade I went to Maumelle, so I've always been in Little Rock. And yeah, my education was in Little Rock until high school.
So Wes, how did you get into childhood education and why is it such a passion for you?
I got into childhood education by first and foremost examining myself. I understand myself to always be a curious person. I always have a question. I'm always trying to seek adventure. And that's what kids do. Kids will ask you 1,000,001 questions until you tell them to stop. And my thing with education is a lot of times we tell kids to stop. So when we tell kids to stop, instead of cultivating that creativity that's inside of them, they end up losing passion. And when they lose passion, they get stagnant. My team's whole thing is to go into the education system and talk to kids and really spread the message of whatever's inside of you, just nurture that and grow it. Your talents, use those. Even if you don't necessarily see them in the traditional 9-to-5 world, those talents that you have, they're inside you for a reason, and they're inside you to give it to the world. So that's kind of how I got involved in education.
So Wes, what is your vision for your career? And tell me some of the steps that you're taking to accomplish your vision.
Honestly, I just like to do what I like to do. Last season, we were campaigning, and this season, we in elementary schools doing children's books. So I'm just the person who likes to follow what's inside of them. I'm into technology, trying to get into the tech world because I see that's where the world is going. But really, I think my career aspirations are just to be a go-getter. So what I've been trying to do is take the products or the services that I have and I try to exploit those in as many ways as possible. When we do that, kids are inspired to do that.
What have you taken from the experience that you gained working in politics here in Little Rock, Arkansas to apply to your passion for childhood education?
Really, whatever you have, whatever your vision is, run the campaign with it. So my vision is literacy, entrepreneurship, creativity. We're gonna run that in the most creative way possible. We're gonna make sure that, kind of like in politics, we're gonna be at your door with it. We're gonna be at the schools every single day with it, spreading the message with it. Because the thing is, we have these ideas, but people have to see them. So one thing that I learned from politics is if you have a vision, people gotta know about it. So just being upfront.
Tell me some of the challenges that you faced along your career path and how have those challenges informed the person that you are today?
I would say the biggest challenge is stepping into the real world without the understanding of what it takes. A lot of the tasks that people ask me to do, I wasn't necessarily taught in the traditional setting. So I was actually talking to a lady who's like a godmom to me, Mama Scott, and she was like, Wesley and Randy, y'all always been the people, if we want something, if we come to you, the first thing you're gonna say is, I don't know how to do it, but then you'll figure it out. And so that's kind of how it is in the real world. And also just being young. A lot of people don't necessarily have faith in you because they see your youth, but it's all about just doing it, executing. So yeah, being young and also just not knowing, just a lot of not knowing. So it's a lot of seeking information and seeking knowledge.
Wes, what advice would you give to a young person who's aspiring to have a career in childhood education or in politics?
Man, I tell them, kind of like Nipsey said, it's a marathon. It's a marathon in everything. And if you want to be in education, if you want to be in politics, understand why you want to be in it. So if your passion is children, learn about children, learn about the different teaching methods and teaching children. Some of them are auditory, some of them are more visual, some of them need touch. So understand how you teach, understand how people learn, but also understand if you're trying to go into education, you have so many more skills inside of you that goes into the educational arena. If you want to teach, that means that you're probably a good orator. You're probably a good writer. So use those skills and those skill sets inside of you and create. So if you want to be a teacher, you can also write books. If you want to be a teacher, who's writing the curriculums, who's doing that? So just think about all the different ways in which you can influence the educational arena. And as far as politics, just build your resources. Get around the state representative, reach out to them. People are always willing to help and give advice. So build your resources, build your brand.
Tell us where we can find out more about you and the work that you're doing.
So right now I'm on Instagram, Wesley_Peters 4. I'm on Facebook, Wesley Peters. And what we're about to start doing right now is getting into churches. We're about to start launching literacy nights at churches. So if you have a church, you're a part of the church and you want us to come through, let me know.
We definitely appreciate you stopping by the show with us today, man.
For sure.
We're inspired by everything that you're doing, but we're definitely excited to see you be the visionary that's creating change for people like you and me.
For sure.
And we're happy to support everything that you're doing in the future, man.
For sure.
Everybody be sure to go follow Wes at his social media handles. And up next on this Black is Lit, we're going to have another episode of Get Out Your Feelings and our word of the day. What's good? It's your boy Town the Hood Scholar. It's time to get out your feelings. Today, we're going to talk about the real black economics. Nowadays, everybody talks a good game about black economics, about buying black, about supporting black business. Of course, this is an absolutely necessary component of building our black community. But why do we continue to struggle economically? Fortune magazine reports a black spending power capacity of $1.2 trillion. Black enterprise estimates that total to rise to $1.5 trillion by 2021. Systemic factors play a role in inhibiting black economic success. But we can also find solutions to these problems by examining our own community perspectives. MOE, kill black unity. Western societies are inherently self-interested, as capitalism is intrinsically a system of economic self-promotion and survival of the fittest. The issue is as old as time. We've replaced the value of love with the value of money, but we need both. We need money to survive, but we need love to make meaning of our survival. Maggie Anderson explained the differences in how races view economics based on their spending habits.
Philanthropy is commendable, but it must not cause the philanthropist to overlook the circumstances of economic injustice which make philanthropy necessary. Dr. Martin Luther King said that. Now, what is this economic injustice he was talking about? What are these circumstances he was talking about? In America, in the Asian community, the dollar circulates among the community's banks and retailers and professionals for about 28 days before it leaves the community. In Jewish communities, that circulation period is about 19 days. In WASP communities, predominantly white areas, if you will, the dollar stays 17 days. My Hispanic brothers and sisters keep their dollar for about a week. And in the black community, we keep our dollar for 6 hours. 6 hours in the black community. Let me tell you what that means. That means that black kids can't see business owners who look like them every day. There are no black-owned grocery stores and dry cleaners and pharmacies and clothing stores locally owned in the black community. So the people there cannot get jobs, much less create jobs in the community. So black unemployment in places like Detroit, and Gary, and Oakland, sometimes 40%. And those circumstances lead to social problems like recidivism, high crime, high gang and drug activity, poverty. That's what's going on with those 6 hours. And those disparities cause the same kind of problems in the corporate space. 60% of the money that is spent with Asian suppliers in corporate America, so your Asian professional firms, Asian products you see on the shelves, used to be spent with black-owned businesses. And the same kind of shift has happened between Hispanic businesses and black-owned businesses.
If our value of love is fleeting, then our value of money is also diminished.
We need black economic success stories to celebrate.
People like Madam C.J. Walker, Booker T. Washington, Marcus Garvey, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, and Reginald Lewis
Provided a roadmap to strengthen the economic viability of the black community.
by refocusing our spending power into our own banks, our own schools, our own institutions. We have the ability to free ourselves from the systemic economic disadvantages of the past.
Basically, get your bag for sure, but make sure that you invest your success back into our own communities. We need us now more than ever.